Hi, everybody. This is Dawnetta McDowell with the Montana Career Lab. We'll be getting started here shortly. Today, we're going to be talking about MCIS for high school students and how MCIS can help with scholarships and finding colleges and some other things. First, I wanted to start out with showing you our web page. So this is the Montana Career Lab web page. And this is where we have just a lot of really good resources for students, parents, educators, job seekers, a little bit of everything. And all of our resources are totally free. Some of them are available to download only, and some of them you can actually order for your students. And today we're just going to start by going down here and clicking on this MCIS resources button here. And that'll take you to all of the MCIS information that we have out here on the website. So first off, I wanted to show you our new training videos that our graphic designer, Rob Marvin, has been working very hard on, and they're pretty great. So if you need help with anything, logging into MCIS, creating staff accounts, creating your portfolios inside of MCIS. So if you need to get your students set up with their portfolios to log into the system, this is a great video tutorial for them to, or for you to watch so that you know how to do that. So those are great videos. And then we have a list of our webinars. And on this page also, when we do start getting those recordings out, somewhere on this page we'll have those recordings as well. And then the next thing on here are the publications. Like I said, we have a lot of good resources. Yesterday we did MCIS Junior. So there's Junior Framework and a Junior Workbook, just so you know. The workbook is available for students. For the high school students, we have the Montana Career Guide, which is available for you to order for your students. It has tons of great information in it, and it does have pieces embedded in it that work inside of MCIS as well. And then there's the MCIS Career Plan Framework book, which is another great tool to use. There's subject-specific curricula for MCIS, and we have those broke out into the different subjects, the subject-specific. And then I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page, and anywhere when you're on the Career Lab website. Also to get to the Career Lab website, that would be helpful information. You can easily get there by typing into your address bar up here at the top of your screen. You can type in careers.mt.gov, and that'll take you right to our Montana Career Lab homepage. And so up here in the right-hand corner is a little MCIS login button. So to log into MCIS, you can click on that, and that's going to take you to the portal page. You want to make sure that you and your students are logging into this blue area. There is the Montana resident login. If your students are logging in with the Montana resident login, they're going to be out in, I like to call it, nowhere land. And you will not be able to see their portfolios or access any of their information when they're out in nowhere land. So just so you know that, make sure that you're setting up their portfolios in the system under your school or agency so that they're logged into the right area. So say you were a middle school teacher and you set up all your students in the middle school, okay? They're gonna go here and they're gonna log in and they're gonna get to the middle school site. So say you're a high school teacher and you set up all your students' portfolios and they're going to come here and you type in their username and password and they're going to get to the middle school site. So it doesn't matter if they're in middle school, high school, they're adults working with agencies, a lot of the job services, voc rehabs, JMG folks, they use MCIS. So like I said, it doesn't matter. You're always going to go to this blue area and put in your username and password. If you don't know what your username and password is for your school or agency, you can always contact us and we can let you know what that is or set you up with one, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and log into our high school test site. All right. So this is what you will see when you log in if you have an administrative account or a staff account. And this is where you can go and you can find your students' portfolios. You can do that upload of your students and all those good things. We're not going to get into this side of the system right now. So what you do to get to the student side, if you have an admin or staff account, is you're going to go up here to the very top of the screen where it says hide, or it'll have a little tiny tab that says show, and you're going to click on that. And then you're going to click on this little button that says go to CIS. So we're going to click on that. And now this is the student side of the system. So when you have a staff account or an admin account, you have a sample portfolio that's exactly what the students see. You can do anything that the students do in this, save it to the portfolio, and then when you're teaching a class or working with a student, you could go into this and you could step by step walk them through some of these things. Okay, so today we're mainly going to focus on the education tab up here at the top. So I like to call this the navigation bar. And in the high school version, it is red. In the middle school version, it is a lime green. And in the adult version, it is a bluish color. And that's one way to know which site you're in. Okay, so if you have a bunch of students who do not have a red bar across the top, they're logged into the wrong place. So that's a good indicator. Also up here at the top, it's going to say what school or agency you are. So Helena High School, Browning High School, whatever it might be, it'll say up here. Okay, so that's how you know you're in the right spot. All right, so hovering over the education tab, we're going to start out today with what can I study? Just the very first one here, what can I study? And we're going to click on choosing a program of study. Okay, this is a really good place. There's an overview, there's education after high school, post-secondary degrees, apprenticeships, special programs, and how to choose a program. So I'm going to click on post-secondary degrees. And this shows you the degrees that are out there so they can get a good idea of all the different types of degrees that are available. And over here is also a little navigation section over on the left-hand side. So there's also apprenticeships. So we don't want to box everybody into the going to college, everybody's going to college thing, because not everybody is going to college. So apprenticeships is also a really great place to look at different information. Apprenticeship programs, you can click on that. There's the Montana Registered Apprenticeship page, which has a lot of really great, wonderful information. There's typical coursework, things to know, sample interview questions, so on. And under programs of study, you're going to get an A through Z list of all the different types of programs that are available. Just quickly, I also wanted to show you, it's not in the education tab, but if you look under the portfolio, there is a course planner. And this is a great tool to look at for looking at college information. So this little section right here, which years of study would you like to plan for? You're going to change that to post-secondary years. You can have your high school information put in there. We can work with you to put in your high school information and your pathways and all that kind of stuff. So just be aware of that. And I already have this section populated, but if you go up here, you can choose a different school. There's all the different colleges. You can choose a school, then you can choose a program of study, and then you're going to add that to your course plan. And when you do that, there's going to be a pop-up. So just make sure that your pop-ups are not blocked. There are several things within the system that have pop-ups, so it's just a good idea to make sure that those pop-ups are blocked. So then once you do that, it's going to populate the years of study. And for this one, for diesel equipment technology, you can see here's your first year of school and your second year of school. And it has all the classes that are available at Missoula College for diesel equipment technology. So your students can come out here and look up a school, college that they're interested in, look up that program of study and see what classes they're going to need to take. And that just helps them to be better prepared. It also shows which term, the course numbers, credits. We have a gentleman that works at the Career Lab who enters this information all the time. So it's as updated as we can get it, depending on what the school has out on the web for information. And then Joe Ruby, he's the person that puts this information in there, and he also does just send out surveys to all the colleges so that he can get the information to keep this updated. And that is a lot of work for one person. So that's awesome that he does that. So I just wanted to show you that. We're going to head back over to the Education tab, and we're going to move down to where can I study? So the Choosing a School overview page has some great information on it. Preparing yourself, types of schools, how to choose a school, how to apply. We're not going to get too deep into that. And I just wanted to show you our Montana schools area. So when you click on Montana schools, this comes up and you can see that we have two-year colleges and technical colleges, beauty or cosmetology schools, business and secretarial schools, colleges and universities, and then vocational schools not elsewhere classified. So if your students are interested in two-year technical colleges, they can click on that. That's going to open up that tab and show you all of the two-year technical colleges in Montana. And then also colleges and universities, same thing. And I wanted to also show vocational schools because those are awesome. So we have Job Corps centers. We have some other massage by design school. I always wanted one of my kids to go to massage school so that I could get free massages, right? That would be great. There's a Montana Guide Training Center, the Law Enforcement Academy, some great things in there. Okay, so actually I'm going to go to the colleges and universities, and I'm going to choose Montana State University Northern. So when a student chooses a school, college, I keep saying school, I guess a college is a school, but they'll get all this information, so much information, awesome information. So the first thing that comes up is the name and address, where the website might be or is located, the virtual campus tour, to request more information. There might be a video that goes along with the school. And then over here on the left-hand side is just a lot of awesome information. Um, how much does a school cost? So this is going to show you in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition, what the fees are. The costs are for the 18-19 academic year, and full-time costs are based on 30 credits per year, so just so you know that. And then there's financial aid, So you can find out who to contact at the financial aid office, um, applying for financial aid, all that good information, admissions information. So on this one, it talks about the difficulty of entrance. And for incoming students, it's moderately difficult. About 85% of all applicants are accepted. And then it has last year's applicants, how many people applied, men or women, how many were accepted, number enrolled, application requirements, factors considered by schools when evaluating applicants. Lots of good stuff in here for all these colleges. Academic information, sports information, lots of great stuff. And then down here under related information, you can also see the programs of study that are offered at that school. So say we were interested in computer science and information technologies, and we wanted to know if that was available at the school. We click on that, and it tells us that MSU Northern has an associate and a bachelor's degree in computer science. And if we click on that, it's going to give us an overview of computer science. And it's going to tell us the program admissions, the graduate admissions, typical coursework, and different things to know. And then below that, you can again click on Montana schools to find other Montana schools. So let's see. There's all the different Montana schools that offer computer science. And then you could also look at US colleges and universities. The system has all colleges and universities throughout the nation, so that's awesome. You can go in and you can look at different occupations and again, programs of study and financial aid information. And then also there is a compare schools feature that I wanted to show you. So you can compare up to 3 different schools. I am just going to randomly choose some. And these are actually, let's see. Let me see if I can find a Montana school really quick. Do, do, do. So we got 3 listed over here. We're going to do compare, and it's going to show us side by side those schools and their information. And then any of the information we saw in just a single school, you can get all that information so you could compare cost and anything else that's over there you can compare. All right, so next we're going to go back up, hover over the education tab, and we're going to talk a little bit about where can I get help paying for school. So the paying for school overview section has a lot of good information. How much does higher education cost? Applying for financial aid, scholarships, other ways to pay, loans and grants. And the next thing we're going to talk about is the financial aid sort real quick. We're not going to go all the way through the financial aid sort, but I wanted to show you the financial aid sort is just a really good way of narrowing down financial aid scholarships. So we're just going to go down here and we're going to click on go. And then the students just go through and answer questions. Are you a man or a woman? What is your racial background? You can include this information. You can click do not include. Just make sure you're being careful on that. Your students are being careful on that because you could end up kicking off some financial aid that you might actually want to see. And then over here on the left-hand side, you can also see the awards. So right now there's 3,414 off of the list. And you just keep going down answering these. I'm just going to do all residents, and then you click continue. And you can see that now I have 560 awards and 2,854 off of the list. So here's the GPA information. So you would just have them continue on. And then at any time they could click on this over here and it would show them the awards list. So here's a list of awards. So once you whittle down and get through that, it will really pare that down a lot so that there's a lot less information and scholarship. So this tells you the award name, what type of financial aid it is, and the deadline. We always make sure to tell everybody that to double check that deadline to make sure that you're not going to miss the deadline for your scholarships. You can see a little star over here. That just means that at some point the student had gone in already and looked at financial aid and saved this as a scholarship that they were interested in. And on this list, you can see the little checkbox over here on the side, and say you're interested in aviation. You could click on that and click Save Checked, and now it's also saved to your portfolio in your favorite section for scholarships. And if you clicked on the scholarship, it's going to tell you everything that you need to know about the scholarship, how much it is, what is it, what are we studying, aviation and pilot training. This one's going to be at any school. It's open to Montana residents, description, deadline, the procedure, and who to contact if you have questions. And just so you know, up here, there's always going to be a little save button on these things, and you want to make sure that your students are saving. If they don't click the save button, it's not going to save their information, so you'll want to make sure that they're saving things. Okay, let's see here. And then I want to just show you the Montana scholarships. So I clicked on that kind of fast. Let me show you again. Montana scholarships. And this is just going to show you a big old list of all the scholarships that are available for Montana residents. So I can scroll, you can see some of these. There's Dawson Community College, Flathead Valley Community College. Some of them are school specific, some of them are not. And I can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So if your students are saying they can't find scholarships, they're probably not looking hard enough. And then if I close that little folder there, then you can see financial aid with all kinds of different things. So aid for studying construction, biological sciences, studying arts. So lots of ways to find scholarships inside of MCIS. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the application tracker. So how do I track my school applications? This is a great tool for students to track their entrance exams, meetings with advisors and counselors. And the one thing about this though is it's student driven. So you have to have that student that really is invested in this. You have to have them go in and put in this information. So there's just some samples in here. We've gone in and we've added scholarships. There is a way in when we're looking at scholarships. Let me show you that real quick. I should have showed you that while we were in there. So if I save this scholarship, I can type something in there, and then here it says add this scholarship to the application tracker. And if I click on that button and click save, it's going to save that into my application tracker. Okay, so that's one way that you can save them. The other way is you can just go out here and click add new in there to that. Okay, so you can see You can go out and you can edit this information. So I can go in and change the deadline. If I went out and checked the school to make sure that was the correct deadline and it had changed or for some reason, you could change the date. Checkbox to make sure that you did check the deadline. You can type in when you applied, if you have an interview, the amount awarded, notes, all that good stuff. That you can have them put in school visits to colleges and career fairs. And then the next step is applying. So here's schools that I'm applying to. And again, they can go in and edit that information. Submit their FAFSA information so they can actually keep track of their FAFSA as well. So that's very handy. And then we have the after applying button. So here's the schools I've applied to. I've submitted my application. I can go in and I can edit that information. So I can put that I've decided on the fall or other housing application. Have I done that? That's really important. Don't wait till the last minute. Those of us who have dealt with kids getting into college. Okay, we are at 10:31. So, we're just testing out this 30-minute thing. It's interesting to try to get everything into 30 minutes, but we're doing our best. And I'm hoping that you guys got some good information out of this. I am going to unmute everybody in case you have questions, and I'm going to look at the questions to see if anybody has typed any in. Just want to let you know too that we are available to do on-the-fly webinars if you want to do a one-on-one webinar, or you're interested in just getting in there deeper and learning more. Remember, those videos are out there, those video tutorials on how to do things. All right, so if you have a question, go ahead and ask. Thank you for joining us. So hopefully you can join us for some of our other webinars. We're going to be talking about transferring portfolios, so how we can transfer your senior portfolios out of CIS when they graduate into the adult version. One of the things that's really great about CIS is that it continues on with them and they never lose access to it. So that's awesome. So thanks again, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.